And we are on air.
It's working. Yay! So welcome everybody. Sorry, I had some technical issues earlier on with my computer, so it's all solved. So welcome everyone and welcome to a new episode of Systemic Conversations. Today we're inviting you on a special journey exploring forgiveness and consciousness, drawing on the work of Bert Hellinger and other systemic approaches. Hi, Orianne.
Hi, Carole. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here tonight. And yes, a huge topic today. Forgiveness is often seen as something noble, but you will see through a systemic lens, we are going to dig deeper into what really lies beneath it.
Exactly. And forgiveness is usually considered as a sign of spiritual growth. But Bert Hellinger invites us to look at it with much more lucidity. In fact, he said that forgiveness can be an act of superiority. What do you
Yeah.
think of that, Oriane?
Yeah, that stings a little. I know. It's not easy to hear that because, yeah, the New Age and Christians and so many other approach, they think that it's very important to forgive. And well, I want to reassure everyone we are not against forgiveness, but we want to just think and explore what does it mean. So when we forgive too quickly, sometimes we actually position ourselves above the other, as as if we know what's right or wrong. But before we go further, Carol, should we lay the groundwork first with Cartman's drama triangle?
That's a great idea because a lot of people don't know about this drama triangle, and most relationships, 99% of the time, we're stuck in the drama triangle. So let me describe it a bit for you. So the drama triangle describes the unconscious interplay between three roles. So you've got the victim at the bottom of the triangle, the persecutor, and the rescuer. Each role is fueled by unacknowledged pain. The victim is driven by fear. The persecutor is usually moved by anger and a need of control. And the rescuer is animated by a deep sadness and a wish to fix the world.
Yeah. And you know what? We have all these three play roles in ourselves. We play those roles with ourselves every day. We can feel like a victim about so many things, even the world situation, the politician, or the train that is late, and then we will have so many other problems, and we can be a persecutor to ourselves also when we blame ourselves, when we are not happy with ourselves, when we judge ourselves. So this is also something very strong. And we can be also the rescuer when at the end of the day we think, oh, you had a so hard day and you deserved a glass of wine, and why not a second glass of wine or a third? And then we are stuck in some addiction because we try to take care of ourselves. So this is really important. And with our
And also,
relationships, yeah.
and also, a lot of people think rescuing is great, but actually, most people come to the rescue without being asked. What do you think?
Yeah, exactly. And in this triangle, forgiveness often shows up as an attempt to repair, but we end up stuck in the same loop again and
And
again.
again and again and again. So to step out of this triangle, it starts with understanding our cycle of thinking, how our perceptions, our beliefs, emotions, and actions feed each other. often what we believe we must forgive isn't an objective fact, but a solidified interpretation.
Yeah, so true, Carol. And there is more. One
Uh-huh.
way to step out of the triangle is to shift from the drama triangle to what's sometimes called the winnings triangle, or the triangle of compassion.
Mm.
I like this word,
Terminology. Yeah.
triangle of compassion, because the drama triangle, it's about passion, and passion means suffering. So we
Mm.
suffer, we play roles, and when we move to the triangle of compassion, we are not anymore in roles. We are in feelings, in sensation, in being. So instead of being a victim, we move toward vulnerable, and we accept that. And I like so much Brené Brown. I recommend. She's really a specialist of vulnerability. So if you
Not
want to,
not an easy word to say for us.
yeah, and it's important to discover the power of vulnerability. And instead of being a persecutor, we acknowledge our boundaries and take responsibility. And instead of being a rescuer, we shift into a caring supporter. That's really better.
Mm.
Someone who helps only when invited and from a place of equality. That's really important. Instead of jumping immediately, I can
You should
help
do
you.
this, and yeah. Yeah, I think that shift is can be very, very deeply empowering. It allows us to act from a place of inner clarity rather than reactivity. That's the main issue. The drama
Mm,
triangle plays up because we just react without thinking, without
mm.
pausing. And it brings in the possibility of real transformation, not just of our relationships with others, but also our own relationships with ourselves. Um, what do you think?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And for me, this is the main thing. When we can be in this triangle of compassion with ourselves,
Mm,
automatically we will be like that with others, and we will
mm,
know to take our own part of responsibility, and to leave the part of responsibility to the others,
mm,
to the person with who we are in relationship, because it's also to become too big and to carry a lot of stuff if we take the responsibility of the others. So just
mm,
let go. That's
mm.
important. So maybe we could bring in a real life example here, so it will help people and to understand what we mean.
Yeah, yeah, I think that could be very powerful. So, I can remember working with a woman. Her name was Claire, and she had been stuck for years in a painful loop with her older sister. And Claire often felt used and unacknowledged, and she oscillated between rescuing her sister, giving her money, stepping in when there was crisis, and feeling furious when her help wasn't appreciated. And a sister, in turn, would sometimes lash out, accusing Claire of controlling her.
Mm,
So we're like in classic drama triangle here. And Claire saw herself as a victim, but she also acted as the rescuer, and her sister became the persecutor in the way she was seeing things.
mm. And I can imagine that dynamic probably felt familiar and justified to her.
Yes, yes, exactly. So what we did in the constellation, so we placed the representative for Claire, her sister, and the unspoken family story. And what emerged was that Claire had unconsciously taken on the role of the parent because the mother died quite young, and she had never grieved that loss fully. When she saw that dynamic, she actually cried,
Mm,
not from guilt, but from recognition. She said, I've been trying to mother her because I never got that to be the child. So
Mm.
from that place, she was able to say to her sister's representative, I leave you your part and I take back what's mine.
Wow, I have goosebumps, and I imagine that shifted her internal posture.
Yes, very, very much so, very profoundly. And she stopped seeing her sister as someone who owed her anything. And for the first time, she felt free to live her own life without any resentment. And she said later that she didn't feel the need to forgive anymore. She just felt done. Everything was complete. So
Wow,
that's the power of family constellation.
that's really such a powerful example, and it's also in the way that Bert Hellinger was thinking, and he discovered through thousands and thousands of constellations all around the world with so many different cultures. It works everywhere in any
Mm,
culture. So it's not about moral superiority, it's about seeing what is and taking responsibility for your own part, not more, not less. That's
mm,
very important.
very well said, Oriane.
And you know, moving forward with Bertelinger, he also spoke about three levels of consciousness: personal, collective, and universal. So, Carol, do you want to walk us through them?
Okay, I'll try. I'll try. So first you have the, as you mentioned, the personal consciousness. That helps us ensure that helps ensure belonging to a family or group, and it urges us to follow norms, even if it means committing the unthinkable, or while maintaining what in French is called bonne conscience. So let me try to explain what it means, bonne conscience, for those who don't speak French. It's quite hard to. There's no direct translation in English, but it refers to the feeling of moral righteousness or of being in the right. So I think that that's clearer what bonne
Mm,
conscience is, to have good consciousness. um, then there is collective consciousness, which is more tied to family or systemic loyalties and transgenerational debts. And finally, the big one is universal consciousness, which includes everything without judgment.
mm. And I like to just remind to everyone that we are a big family, all the humanity. So we cannot exclude anybody. And we will talk about that with the next episode. I will tell you more about that at the end of this conversation. But this is really important. When we exclude someone, we will have the impact for several generations. So it's really important. So it's from this universal consciousness that true forgiveness can emerge, not as a moral
Sorry, I
act.
didn't hear what you said, Oriane. I
Sorry?
think you broke up. I
No,
didn't
no,
hear what you said. Oh,
it is from this universal consciousness that true forgiveness can emerge.
okay.
It's not as a moral act, but as a natural unfolding of being. It's about, also, I can just say about acknowledging what it is. It's really
Mm,
important. Mm.
okay. Okay. Exactly. Um, so it's the fact of saying something like, "I carry my own destiny, and you're free." Yeah. It's about leaving the
Mhm.
others' responsibility with them and reclaiming our own. So choosing to live, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I like to say we are at 100% responsible of our own destiny, and
Mm,
we have to carry it. We cannot give
pass
to
it on.
anybody, and
Yeah.
we cannot carry the destiny of anyone. So sometimes this is the most difficult. Some people have a very, very hard destiny. Yes, I can
Mm.
say it can be almost awful,
Mm.
very painful,
Mm.
everything you can imagine. And I'm thinking about Palestinian and Israeli and all these things, and I think, wow, that is a huge destiny, and I
Mm.
cannot carry that for them.
Mm.
I just can be there and okay, you are expressing something important for everybody, and you have to live at 100% your own destiny, and we have to do it. It doesn't mean that we don't have to do anything,
Mm.
but from the right place. So this is important. Okay,
So,
so just
yes.
by
How do we support people in constellations then?
yeah, when we facilitate, if we facilitate from this place of non-judgment,
Mm.
it support really support people, and the constellation, it's a beautiful process that allows to do that.
Mm.
So if you have any relationship, a difficult relationship, or if you carry anger or fear
Or
or
sadness.
sadness, okay, join any constellation work, individual or with a group, because it will be easier just to acknowledge what is, and go through, and the forgiveness will come by itself,
Mm.
because the first person you need to forgive, even though you were a victim, it's yourself, because you were there, and you received all the violence, and you didn't know how to get out. So you need to forgive yourself that you were not able to get out, especially if you were a kid. So it's very important. So what we do, we invite seeing things as they are, with compassion and clarity, without rescuing, without judging.
Mm. And without inviting forgiveness, it just lands
Yeah,
itself. You said, yeah.
exactly.
So it also reminds me of those very simple yet very powerful movements we do in constellation. Like we will ask the person to turn their back away from the representative of the perpetrator, or
Mm.
we place a symbolic boundary like a rope between the victim and the perpetrator.
Yeah. There are many ways we can invite the perpetrator and the victim to look eye to eye. We can just place this rope, and sometimes with toxic people, because it exists, unfortunately, we just invite to turn back to place the rope, because this is the risk about forgiveness. People think, ah, so I forgive my parents because they were so hard on me, and now I forgive them, and I have to be their best friend. No, 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 no. We are not working in this way, and it's not because we are able to look at what is,
Mm-hmm.
that we need to become the best friends,
Mm.
or to have a close relationship. It doesn't mean at all that. You can just leave this person, and you embrace your own life, and you just go your own way.
Mm. Mm. So what you're
So it's
describing,
about,
yeah,
yeah, I can say it's about recognition, not
yes.
moral reparation.
Very good. So, and for those listening now, maybe you can ask yourself, what am I still expecting from the other to acknowledge or return? You know, what's your expectations? And you could offer that recognition to yourself instead. For example, if you're still expecting someone to admit that they hurt you or to make amends, can you pause and acknowledge that pain yourself? Can you say to yourself, yes, this happened and it mattered, I see how much it impacted me. And that act of recognition can be incredibly freeing. What do you think, Oriane?
Yeah, definitely. And it's very beautiful. Thank you, Carole, for these deep explorations. Really important to uh, take the time to slow down and to go really deep in
Mm,
yourself, to
mm.
visit what you are expecting, because all those play roles are also connected with old expectation. We want
So
something from the other.
role play, you
So
meant, yeah?
yeah, the role
Yeah,
play as
yeah.
a victim, a persecutor, or rescuer, because we do so many times things to get something back,
Mm.
and especially with our dear ones,
What?
parents, brothers and
Oh,
sisters, our dear ones.
okay, okay.
We are expecting things from our parents, and we expect for many years, and we submit ourselves to receive that, but our parents are not able to give that, and they have no idea of what we are expecting. So it's really important to let go,
Mm.
and yeah. So I
Okay.
think yeah, it looks simple, but I know it's not easy. So
Yeah.
it's simple but not easy, and this is why we invite you to join any group constellation or individual constellation, and Carole gives a session, and me too.
Mm. Well,
Yeah.
thank you, Oriane. Thank you, everyone. I'm sure you'll have lots of questions around forgiveness now.
Mhm.
So please feel free to contact us. So until next time, take good care of yourself with gentleness and lucidity. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review or a comment, and share with others who might benefit. You can also access our previous episodes on the Systemic Conversation playlist. And as Oriane mentioned earlier, Oriane, do you want to talk
Yeah,
about our
yeah.
next episode?
So I told that next episode will be devoted to the situation with Palestine and Israel, and we will explore it even deeper with the systemic lens. So
Mm,
don't miss this next episode. It will be very fascinating and
mm.
profound.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Oriane.
Thank you, everyone, and take care. Bye.
Bye bye.